Hello and welcome to World of Tanks Tank Review with me, the most happy one, aka MrSuryt. Today we are looking at everybody's favourite Tier 7 American tank destroyer, turreted tank destroyer anyway, that is the T25/2. Alright, well it has to be everyone's favourite Tier 7 American tank destroyer with turret because it's the only one. But it doesn't receive much love. No, this tank here, it has a few issues, we'll say. And most of them come down to this gun right here. Really, it starts even before that. You see, the T25/2, arguably not a real tank. Well, the American lines, Wargaming have gone a little bit creative on quite a few of the American tanks, that's for sure. This one's no exception. And its real life counterpart, which is possibly the reason why this tank here is not everybody's favourite. This tank itself, it did actually, well, it didn't, but there was a T25. In real life, there was a tank. An American T25 medium tank. Yep, you heard right. Medium tank. It looks very similar to this tank here. It's pretty much guaranteed to be the T25 medium tank. Now back in 1943, I believe it was, World War II, they were advancing their tanks, the Americans. They had one of the other tanks is in this game as well. Here we go. Now, we call it an M26 in this game. It was originally the T26, and it was a heavy tank, not a medium tank. To go with this heavy tank here, they decided that they were going to throw in a medium tank. Pretty much this tank here. And the Americans had a very strange idea about tank warfare back then. They believed that tanks were not for fighting tanks. They should never be in a position where they were fighting a tank. That's the role of a tank destroyer. Completely different type of tank, different crew, different everything. Nothing to do with tanks. Little to do with tanks, but for the most part, not a tank. When this tank here was proposed, they did end up making two variants of it. About 42, 43 of them were made. When it was proposed, they put this massive big turret on top of a T23 body hull, I think it was. And they put this thing on it. This impressive 90mm cannon on the front here. 90mm gun. The Americans, the field generals and that, they had a look at it and said, no, we are not putting a tank out there with a 90mm gun. It will encourage our tank operators, our tankers, to get out there and hunt enemy tanks. We don't want that. So they rejected it. They rejected a tank for being too powerful. Right. Okay. Well, thankfully that's not still the case with the American way of thinking when it comes to tanks. The problem with this tank in-game is it kind of suffers a bit of a identity crisis. It doesn't know if it wants to be that medium tank or if it's a tank destroyer. Never really decided. Quite a few aspects of this tank are definitely medium tank. Quite a few are tank destroyer. So people always not too sure how to play it. And I probably don't play it as hybrid as I should. I'm a little bit more of a tank destroyer, sit back sniper. So there are better players of this tank out there. But I have started having fun in this game, and I do get quite a few games over 2,000 damage in it. Even when I'm in tier 9 games. Let's have a look at a few of the stats. Now what we probably should do is compare it to a tank I do not actually own, but we'll bring it up anyway. That is the T25 AT This tank here probably should be called the T25 AT, going off its real-life counterpart. This thing here is the other Tier 7 American tank destroyer. Now, non-upgraded, so let's put the standard... Oh, well, we gotta remove the gun before we can put the standard turret on there. There we go. Hit points, 840. Hit points of the T25/2, 800. Weight, the /2 is actually heavier. You're not going to be doing ramming with either of them though. Engine power is quite a lot less in the AT to the /2. Quite a lot less. The top speed is the same though. Now this one here, this is one of those things that you've got to kind of take with a little bit of grain of salt. T25/2, top speed of 56. Yeah, dreaming. This thing probably 30s, mid 30s. You can get higher. You got to be going downhill. You got to be going downhill with the wind behind you. If you want to hit that 56k, tongue tied. If you want to hit that 56 k's, you're going to have an extremely long stretch of flat to get there. You're never going to hit it. Never. So the 56k speed limit is not... Yeah, it's one of those tanks. Traverse speed at 30, both at 30. Well, it's not bad. It's definitely up there if we compare it to some of the other TDs, Tier 7 TDs. We're not going to use a premium. Let's have a look at the brand new PZ STF... Oop, wrong one. STF 5. Traverse speed is not too bad in this thing. 30 as well. Well, let's just have a look at... Whilst we've got him here. The Jagd Panther. Also 30. French. Well, AMX AC 46. No turret on this one as well. Oh, there we go. That's nicer. That's what we want to see. 24. Something that's not as good. But you're kind of getting the impression here. Sure, it's not bad. 32 in the SU100 M1. It's not bad. But it's not the best. It's not out there on its own. It's yeah, there's a few tanks around that. It beats the SU152, that's for sure. This thing here has quite a nice gun on it though, so yeah. But anyway, let's just randomly leave those ones open and move this over there. Now the hull armor. What hull armor? Yeah, look, it's an improvement, and I probably should have also brought this tank up before. Wrong one. Brought this tank up before as well. The tank leading up into the 25/2. This guy here, the Hellcat. Now this here is arguably one of the best Tier 6 tank destroyers in the game. Best Tier 6 tanks, period. But it has no armor. None. Nothing. Zero. 13 mil? Please. Surprisingly though, its turret, not too bad. 76. Now the hull armor on the /2, it looks better. Obviously it is. The hull is 76 front, with a decent bit of slope there. 50 sides and 38 rear. The problem is this tank gets into Tier 9. That is not armor. Anything is going to get through this armor. You may bounce a few shots on some Tier 5s, Tier 6s. Tier 7s you probably won't, even if you're angling very well. Not on the hull anyway. Turret's a little bit different. However, the turret, we are going to put the better turret back on, just because there is something to be pointed out with this upgraded turret. The turret here, 76 Front, well, guess what the Hellcat's got? 76 front. But 25 sides, 25 rear. The Hellcat, 31 side, 44 rear. The Hellcat, which is well known for having no armour, has a better armoured turret than this tank. Hard to believe, but yeah, very true. This thing does not have armour anyway at this tier, don't even bother. I'm not going to show you the weak points, I'm actually going to show you the only two strong points on this tank. And that is, both in the turret, one of them's not even a point, to be honest. The first one here is the gun mantle. The gun mantle's actually not too bad. You're not going to be bouncing tier 9, you're not going to be bouncing tier 8. You might get lucky and bounce a few tier 7 though. You will bounce a few on the gun mantle, which leads to quite a few guns being taken out. You do lose your gun a fair bit. If you're going hull down, that is. The one other point of interest is also on the turret, and it's this little cover up the top here. This is still an open top tank. This here is just a little hatch that the commander can stick his head out of. It's not armour, it's not cover, and if you get shot in there, you may get penetrated. They may even do a critical hit against you. They could even take out, if they're really lucky and they're tall enough, could even take out commander, but they're not going to do any damage. This here will not, if hit, will not do any damage. So if you are against one of these things and you're only seeing this top part and you've got to take a shot, don't waste it on here. Not going to do anything. Even though this here is the best armour on the tank, this is your best bet right here. Very least you're going to take the gun out. Alright, that's it. That takes us to the gun. And the gun is where a lot of people struggle with this tank. We'll leave the AT up. Yeah, this gun here is what most people struggle with when it comes to this tank. It's a nice little 90mm gun. Not much better than the gun from the Hellcat. I have a Hellcat around here somewhere. Here we go. The gun on this thing here. This one here. It is the gun that you start with on the /2. It's also the gun on the T25 AT. And it's quite a good gun. This is actually a really good gun on a tier 6 tank destroyer. It's not a very good gun on either the 25 AT or the /2. It is a frustrating gun. You got to start somewhere. It's okay. You're going to get an upgrade. You're going to get an amazing upgrade. One of the best No, you're not. The next gun up is this thing here. Let's compare them. Alright. This one on the right is what you get on the Hellcat and what you start with. This gun here is what you work your way up to on the 25/2. You do also get it on the AT. Caliber 90. Rate of fire marginally better, but not worth writing home about. This here is where the real disappointment is. Penetration. You get a lousy 10 more penetration. Probably, I think there's only one other tank destroyer from memory that has, at tier 7, has an average penetration this low. What was it? Oh, I could be going. There's quite a few now. Been a while since I had a look. But anyway, yeah, you did get 160. You now get 170. 170 mils tier 7 and up. There are a lot of tanks you're not going to penetrate. And that's the problem. That's the real problem of this tank. This here is a fantastic medium tank gun. It's pretty average as a tank destroyer gun. Now the average damage, no difference. Accuracy, 0.01 better, or worse, sorry, 0.01 worse. It's neither here nor there. Aiming time is actually pretty good, 1.7, but you got to be able to hit. You've got to be able to penetrate. You can't do that. That's the problem with this gun. This is the problem with this tank. There's a lot of reasons. This here is probably the main reason people do not like this tank. Now, you're probably looking and thinking, yep, the T25 AT, that gets the gun too. Why aren't we complaining about that gun? Why aren't we complaining about that tank? This here is one of the options that a lot of people say should be given to the /2. The AT gets a 105mm. Slower rate of fire, more damage, marginally less accuracy, it's heavier. Aiming time is the same, but the big thing is you got almost 200 average penetration on it. Premium rounds, you actually get a little bit less, but who's going to be running around using premium all every game? I certainly can't afford it. So a lot of people point at the gun and say 105mm please, or at least get that average pen up. The other one that a lot of people talk about is the rate of fire. If you could fire just a little bit faster, you might make up for it. You'll get a lot of people comparing to this guy here, the E25, when they want rate of fire. Now this thing here, it's a premium tank, so you're not expecting it to have great penetration or damage. 150 average penetration. It is the worst, but it's a premium, so I'm not counting it. Average damage is pathetic, but its rate of fire is absolutely blistering at 20 rounds per minute. I'm not saying increase it by that much, but yeah, a lot of people want an increase in either the speed or the caliber, which is, it's fair, I guess, to want that. You're not going to get it though. Moving on, turret traverse speed is a joke, but hey, you've come from the 18, which is this little fella right here at 16 degrees per second. So it's kind of an upgrade. You're now moving at an impressive 18. Yes, 18. 18 degrees per second. That is pathetic. That is very poor. If anything gets around you, yeah, they're just going to circle you. Which is another reason why it's not really a medium tank. Because you're not... You've almost got the speed for a medium tank. You've got the gun for a medium tank. You don't have the traverse speed, that's for sure. You don't have the turret traverse speed, unfortunately. You will get circled quite easily. View range. View range is fairly decent, 380. In fact, that is not bad at all. And signal range is massive. Compare the signal range to Tank Destroyer over here, even if we down the radio. 395, there you go, it's the same one. In fact, it's most likely the same radio. Let's see. T20, man, this radio gets around, doesn't it? Yeah, there you go, same radio. But that's a decent range, that one there. Let's have a look at what we're going to add to it. Oh, you're in the way. Move, please. Now, there are a couple of different ways you can go about kitting this guy out. I've got it set up more as a sniping tank. I said this tank has a bit of a identity crisis. I didn't lie. You can play this as medium tank. People do. You can play this as a sniping tank. You can also play it as a support sniper. It's probably a medium range sniper. You can also play it as a support medium tank. Getting in there, not taking the shots. Not taking the hits for your team, but up nice and close. It all works fine. I tend to stay back a little, medium to long range. So I do go with the camouflage nets, the medium gun rammer, medium caliber tank gun rammer. Now I go with binoculars. Binoculars are good if you're not going to be moving, and I try not to move if I can help it. Others will go, if you're going to be moving more, you're probably going to be wanting the coated optics if you're going to go more the medium tank route. If you are going the medium tank route, you're probably not even going to need the camo net. So a lot of people I see with this kitted up as a medium tank will put coated optics, medium gun rammer, and binoculars, believe it or not. You don't really need aiming speed. You don't have enough health or armor to worry about your fuel tank or repair speed. The small liner, ramming, it's not going to do anything. Ammo rack, not going to happen. So they're pretty much your options. Camo net, gun rammer, and binoculars if you're going to stay back. You might want to consider putting the coated optics in instead of the binoculars, or even coated optics instead of the camouflage net if you're going to go medium tank. Rounds, not going to bother because it's personal preference really. I mean, I go just a few premiums just because I can't afford anything else. With this here, I've got the small first aid kit, the repair kit, and a fire extinguisher. That's just my standard kit that I put in here. It's not actually the kit I would recommend if you have the credits available. One tip I will give you is if you put the small repair kit in your 5, get used to doing that, your 5 key. If you get tracked, not really efficient or effective or useful with this tank, but with other tanks it's a good habit to be in. 5 and then 5 repairs your tracks, so nice and easy. But anyway, let's have a look. Instead of the fire extinguisher, there are tanks that you will be facing. KV2 can one-hit you. Yeah. There are tanks you're going to be facing tier 9 that will one-hit you. There is fire extinguisher. It's pointless, really. Well, not pointless, but there are better things. Probably still go with the first aid kit and repair kit. This thing here, the 100 octane gasoline, 5% to engine power and turret traverse speed. A lot of people that play the 25/2 will not ever go into a game without this stuff here. I'd probably put it instead of my fire extinguisher. Turret traverse speed, 5% better. You only have 18 degrees per second. So think about putting this guy here in. It's 5,000 per use, 5,000 per game. When you go into the game, you use it. You can't help but use it. So if you know you're going to have a good game, go for it. Crew. Now, don't look at my crew, whatever you do, because my crew are a mix-up. I was leveling up a crew all the way through, got to the Hellcat, loved it, kept my crew there. So my 25/2 was just a bunch of crew from all other tanks. So some of these tankers, these crew, they have been in medium tanks, they've been in light tanks, they've even been in heavy tanks. So the crew, the skills represent that as well. Having a little look. Now camouflage is great if you're going to stay back. Don't worry about repairs. Brothers in Arms is always an alright one, but whether or not you're going to want it first up. With your commander, this all depends on how you're going to play it. Things like recon are not bad. Jack of all trades, no. I do lose my commander a fair bit. That could just be my bad luck though. Eagle Eye is fun, but it's not. It's pointless. You don't get that unless you got nothing else. Sixth Sense, also good if you're going to stay back. It's good to know when you're going to be shot at. Mentor is actually not too bad as well. Mentor is, well, it increases your other crew's skill training. So Mentor, camouflage is probably what I will be moving up to next once this is finished. It's at 94, so it won't be long. Gunner, again, camo with all of them. I'm not going to say it again. Brothers in Arms eventually, yeah, I usually don't really go with it just because in this tank it doesn't really make a huge difference because there's nothing spectacular to use. With this guy here, what have I got? Snapshot. Improve accuracy during turret rotation. Not bad if you're going to be up close. Not too sure what this guy came from, tank. Deadeye, increase the chance. That's actually quite fun. I have a lot of fun with this one here. Deadeye. Designated target marks your target enemy vehicles visible for 2 more seconds. That's okay, but 2 seconds, no. They've generally disappeared for a reason. They're behind cover. Armourer. I left this one for last. Improve accuracy of a damaged gun. Now, if you are hull down as best you can in this tank, which is a good idea, strongly recommended, whether you are playing as a medium or if you're playing as a sniper, the thing that they're going to hit the most is your gun. So armour is not a bad choice. For me, I probably should just change it over once it gets to 100% to camouflage, but I won't. I'll probably just retrain camouflage as my next, maybe. We'll find out. But armour is also not bad. And driver. I had to remember what I was up to. I just clicked away from him. What have I got? Clutch braking, increased vehicle rotation speed. Not a terrible thing at all. It's accumulative with a bunch of other little perks there, including your 100 octane gasoline. So you're not wasting there. Again, camouflage. What else do we have? Preventative maintenance. I don't really get caught on fire too often. If you're that worried, just take a fire extinguisher. Smooth ride, accuracy while firing on the move. If you are getting in there with the mediums, or a support tank, even with your heavies, maybe, but still, you're probably not going to be up front moving backwards, forward, shooting, backwards, forward, shooting, backwards, shoot, forward, shoot, etc. You're not going to be doing that. You're going to be picking a spot up there close with them. Ground resistance, controlled impact, don't forget it. Your clutch braking, camouflage, maybe even Brothers in Arms, probably your better ones to go with there. Radio operator. Do I really need to look at it? Go camouflage. You can, what do we have here? Very nearly got it 100% situational awareness, which extends view range. That's not a bad choice. Certainly for the way I play. Call for vengeance, no. Signal range, no, you can't stay far enough away from the action really to be effective. Signal range of allied, same deal. So really, situational awareness, repair is probably the only things worth noting. Loader, well, this one here I have gone camouflage because the loaders, they're well known for having nothing worth your time. And this guy's no different. Anyway, that is a look at the tank in the garage. Now what I've got to go do is see if I can't get a decent game. Yeah, this might take me a while. It might take me a while. If it's been a while since I last put a video up, it's because I'm still trying to get a decent game in this tank. Anyway, or tank destroyer, hard to say. Let's see how we go. And game 1. And only game for this review. What a frustrating tank to play. Alright, we're on the Siegfried line. It's an assault, and they are assaulting us. We are defending the base. Going off XVM, it's a pretty average chance of winning. 48%er. Now this here is tier 7. We are at tier. I have played a lot of games, higher tier, lower tier, well not lower tier of course, but higher tier and everything else. And just, I can't get the games today.
Let's get this show on the road.
So we'll stick with this one here, and hopefully I can take control of the camera. There we go. Hopefully I can show you a little bit. Now the first thing I am unintentionally showing you right there is the gun depression. One thing I haven't pointed out yet, this thing has incredible gun depression. Well, it's kind of a bit hard to tell on that angle. I guess you've more got to look at the angle of the actual tracks. But this thing here is great in a hull down position because you really can just peek over the edge there. Of course, you don't really have the armour to do it too successfully. Right now, I was getting a little bit frustrated at so many trees. There are mods that get rid of trees, but that's kind of cheating, of course. Yeah, that would make it so that no one can hide. Alright, this little... what is it, an E25? Decides that he wants to come and hang out with me. Sure, why not? I was having a little bit of a look next to me there. The E25, we had a look at it earlier. That is a premium tank destroyer. This person doesn't look to have too many games on his belt. Ah, first victim. Let's zoom back in. E25, no, T25/2.
Enemy armor is destroyed.
That was me. And that is gone. And thankfully, not the last target. Yag Panther pops up, and I'm going to take a couple of shots at him as well. Take another one there, but no, I don't. Okay, he has gone behind the hill. Well, not done with this area just yet. Our E25, now the E25 is an amazingly fast tank. Fantastic for rushing up around, and yes, no turret.
They're knocked out.
I'll take that KV1 as well. It's a fixed turret tank, but it can get around the battlefield quite well. Now have a look at this. T25/2 right in front of me. Remember what I said about that troll armour? The turret?
We didn't penetrate their armor.
There you go. 170 pen, bounced off 76 mils of armour. Yeah. Not likely. Oh, we got more over here. Now this is a T150. I done a fair bit of damage to him. Now that silhouette that you could see just then, I couldn't actually see that silhouette when the game was live.
Enemy is hit.
So I got a little bit lucky there. I knew he was behind that other tank, but I didn't know where.
Penetration.
That was a nice 580 all up. I think somebody else hit it as well. I can't take full credit for that.
Got him.
3 kills, sniping. Now we got ourselves... what's that?
Penetration.
An IS? Yeah, IS. Tracked. I got a good shot into him just then. I figured, I can do that again.
We didn't even scratch them.
No, I can't. He's dead. I just want to have a little look here. French TD down here. That TD is runner-up, in my opinion, for worst tank destroyer. It's a lower tier though, so you can't really say it's the worst tier 7. The worst thing about that is it really can't move its gun from side to side at all. So you're forever having to re-aim. But what you'll also note is that guy just took a big chunk out of our KV1S instead of hitting that IS. Just having a look to see if we got a shot on that Jagd Panther and the KV1S, and no we do not. And it looks like the KV1S and the E25 have them under control. So you would think. But they're actually one of the, or some of the last tanks we end up taking out. I'm thinking maybe we're going to go into the city here and go a little bit, there you go, look at that gun depression. A little bit medium tankish. Oh wait, I did have a shot over there. Why did I take it? Oh, too late. Too late. Too late to realise what was going on. Alright, go into the city. Go into the city. Pretend to be a medium tank. Off you go. Good boy. Didn't really happen though. Well, a bit of a spoiler there for you. By the time I got over here, all the fun was finished. This was not meant to be a stomp. Whoa, hey, there's a KV1S just out there. Quick, quick, quick. Get out there, get out there. Quick. There he is. Aim. Oh, dang it. No aim. Yeah, it was just one of those games. We've got artillery firing at our Jag Panther there. KV-1S is gone. Not to worry, I can get a shot on that Jag Panther over there that I was firing on earlier. Please, guys, let me. Oh, let's go back in there. Oh, yes, we can. Better than that. We can get ourselves a kill. Hardy. Very nice. Right, I'll take a shot. Missed. T25 got in just before me. So there's one left, and this, yeah, well, let's speed it up a little bit, because it took us a while to find this tank. In the end, I was the one that found him, I believe. Where are you? Where are you? Whoa, there you are. Hey, I got a shot on you. Now, I was willing to take a shot there in the end when he turned and faced me, but just so I get the kill, but unfortunately he didn't think to move forward into cover so I could kill him. And the Tiger 1 got that kill, which was his second kill. So that was the game. That was not, well, at tier, that was a reasonably typical game. Anyway, let's have a look at the battle results. Okay, there's the battle results, and, well, nothing special, really. You will note, though, I played several games since recording the review that were better than this. None that I thought were good enough, though. If you have a look at what levels my crew are at now, they're all at 99%. I've been playing for almost 5 hours trying to get a good game. And I give up. That's it. That's the game for the review. Because I'm sick of this tank. I love the tank when I'm on fire in it. And every so often I'll have 5 or 6 games just like this one. Other times, no. No, just, oh, I don't know. There was one game there where I fired at the side of an ARL-44 about 10 times. One hit. I don't know where the others went. That one that hit didn't penetrate. Just flush on the side. No. So, yeah, you get those games too. 170 pen, it feels more like about 70. But anyway, let's have a look at that game results, because it wasn't bad. We've actually done a little bit of spotting with this. 3 we reported. 4 we've got damage upon spotting, damage upon spotting, damage upon spotting, damage upon spotting. None of those are for tracked. Oh, there you go. Yeah, fuel tank, engine. Oh, we actually took out an engine on that T150. Ammo racked. Very nice. And radio. Oh, well, that was all pretty disappointing, wasn't it? We did get a sniper, which is at least 85% of hits out of a minimum of 10 shots fired with a potential damage of over 1,000. So it's not a... That's quite a nice little award to receive, especially in this tank, which, yeah, accuracy just doesn't seem to be what it's meant to be. But even though we had quite a good game, we still had 3 failed pen. They're more than likely my fault. I just fired and hoped. At this point I was quite over this tank. Made quite a lot of credits in it. That is mostly because of this 26,000 here, which is part of a mission. Ordinarily, you can make a bit of coin out of it, but it's nothing over the top. Now, we did top for damage. 4 kills, we top for kill. We top for kills as well. Kind of a whitewash, that one, really. 2,291 damage. So, the tank can perform. It rarely performs when you're in a higher tier game. Rarely performs spectacularly. It's occasionally, if you're really on fire, you'll get up sort of here. If it's a bit of a medium to low tier game, you can get much higher. More often than not in the higher tier games, tier 9 we're talking, you're going to be pretty low down here because you're not going to be able to penetrate anything. But anyway, that is the review. I was going to put another review up. I was going to do a review showing how to play it as a sniper and how to play it as a medium tank. And there are a few maps that I particularly do enjoy playing this tank as a medium tank as opposed to a sniper. But that's not one of them, and I've had enough. I need to put the game down. But anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed the review, got something out of it. Maybe even have a little bit of advice for me. If you do, hit like, subscribe, definitely leave that comment, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.